Hello, welcome to another episode of Now You See Me, the show where we redefine beauty from the inside out. I had the opportunity of meeting my guest today right here in Germany. And so I just happened to be thumbing through Facebook and I saw how gorgeously bald she was. And so that's not how I remembered her when she was in Germany. So I said, okay, let's talk to Bianca today. Welcome to the show, Bianca.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So I understand that you are not over here anymore. What's going on with the transition? What's going on now?
So I'm currently out of the military, and we came back to Florida. So we're down here in Tampa now in Florida.
Oh, okay. Okay. So are you doing the same things that you were doing in the Army? Have you switched up? What's going on with that?
Complete switch. I was in logistics, transportation and logistics. Eddie and Mike. But I have a passion for health, so I'm currently in the health field down here in Tampa at one of the leading hospitals. So I'm trying to follow along on that path as best as possible.
Okay. Any particular area? I'm always curious that, different people have different areas that they focus on. What's your focus?
Right now it's health administration. So billing, coding, trying to tap into that. But at the current moment, I'm in patient access, patient support. So I'm working hand in hand with a doctor to kind of make sure his scheduling is okay, or ordering medications and just assisting them as best as possible. My demographic's a little older, so I'm able to kind of see all stages of life at this moment.
What made you though really decide to get out of the Army? You just seem to have a passion for it while you were here.
Yeah. Yeah, my tipping moment was I was going in for my physical. I was reclassing. That was my holding spot to stay in. I was trying to reclass into something a little bit less physical. Going into my physical, and it came down to some injuries that I previously had, and I kept pushing them off, just trying to make it, because this is all I knew as far as the military. I had health before I joined, but military kind of I grew up in the military. So when I came to the questioning part, I was really like, God, like I'm on this path. You brought me here, and I'm trying to do it for my daughter, do it for myself. And it came to a point where it was like my identity was questioned. Like I only knew the military. I challenged myself the best I could be in the military, and I didn't have anything besides Sergeant Williams. And I kept questioning, like, why am I going through all these issues and things of that nature? And I got to a point where it was, do you trust me? And that was like a real moment for me and God, because, you pray, you believe,
Right.
He's the healer, he's the great redeemer. But when you're in your faith building mode, it's like, what you mean? Like, what you trying to do? Like, it's okay, we're comfortable, we're good. But he said, do you trust me? And I said, yes, I trust you. I haven't doubted you, but I've never been in a position to really question. And I got hit with the opportunity to, med board out of the military. And that hit my pride. Because in the military, I took a lot of pride in who I was, who I was trying to become, who I was leading, and who was watching me. And when that came down, I was just like, I'm crippled. You know, I'm hurt. I'm no good. I can't do this. And I was like, man, like, this is all I knew. Like, this was my I did this for almost 8 years. 8 years. So it was a hard realization for me. But in that process, I grew closer to God. Like I was able to see him in a way that you hear about, but you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't allow the process to be made, you don't get to experience it for yourself. You hear about it in testimonies, you're able to see how it
Wow.
was for other people, but when you're in that moment where your faith is being built, because you own, like in MedBoard process, you don't know how much income you're going to get. You're pretty much starting from scratch from wherever you are. For me, coming from Germany, it was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you don't want to do like a year contract, go back to the States and in that board? It was like, no, I had to start from Germany. And that
Wow.
process was just like truly blind, all faith, a lot of questioning. I still question, but I was. It's so amazing how God sees us as kids.
Yeah.
We're his kids, and he knows me. Like, Bianca's gonna act this, she's gonna think this, she's gonna come up with this, and
Yeah.
try to work something out, because that's what I was doing. I was like, well, maybe I can do like reserve and kind of relax a little bit on my injuries. And he was like, no, that's not what I said. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll listen.
Yeah, I understand perfectly. It's something that's the single mom in you, because you the one that has to make the decisions. You have to maneuver and make choices here and there. So yeah, I can see you easily reasoning about, oh, okay, maybe this way, maybe
Yeah,
that way, because there is a fear that comes with, what if I can't be the provider for this
right,
household? It's
right. And
always that.
kids eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kids eat a lot. She's she's growing a lot, and it was the beginning. Like she was not even 2 yet. She wasn't
Mm.
even 2. So it was like, and and that's another thing, like guarding your ears, making
Mm.
sure your counsel is of wisdom, because if I would have allowed what outsiders were saying, like, oh, your daughter's young and she's going to have so many things that you're going to have to pay for, your health insurance is going to change,
Mhm.
and as she grow, you're gonna need that steady income from the military. If
Mhm.
I would have continued with that, I probably would have been probably tried to fight my med board and not get out, but
Mhm.
probably would have, she would have not have blossomed the way that she is
Mhm.
now. So
Wow.
it was a big sacrifice on that, because she loves to eat and she's expensive. And I'm just like, I don't have that. Like, I can't supply
Yeah.
that, but I have not suffered. We have not
Wow.
suffered at all. So that's the best part about it. Yes.
That is a testimony. That's a testimony. Um, Now you mentioned your journey on trusting God. Did you um have an issue with the trust when you decided to shave all your hair off? Was
Yes.
that a trust issue? It was.
Yes. Roughly about, I was diagnosed with alopecia about 2018. No, I take that back. 2016.
Mhm.
I was diagnosed with a form of alopecia. In Germany, I was at a point where I got tired of being poked at. I got tired of being skin being chopped off for biopsies and things of that nature to figure out what's going on. And in the midst of my transition was
Mhm.
probably, it became a little bit easier to kind of step out on faith
Mm.
with the journey of cutting off my hair, because a lot of people didn't know that I was suffering from my hair being lost, and it did put a lot of questionings in my head, because you see beautiful women, you see a lot of people, they're like, oh, I just want to cut my hair, or oh, I'm just gonna, I don't know what to do with my hair, and you're like, well, I can't do too much with mine, but and I remember asking, like, why me? And I remember trying to do natural remedies and looking in the mirror in the morning, trying to get ready for work. And it was just like, I am tired of this. Like, I'm tired of switching from wig to wig, and with military, you have to work out, you have to do conditioning, you have to do training. And that stress was eating me alive. Like, I would have to, I would have to have multiple wigs ready. So as my day or as whatever happens, I was ready to, get up and go. And the headaches started, and, the stress, and just like, I would just not enjoy being out either, because I had to get ready, and I just used to stay home. And that changed my personality a lot. So yes, I questioned God, because how can you heal everybody else but me? And that real moment of exchange, and I had good counsel. And I remember the conversation was, even if he doesn't do it right now, would that stop your belief in him? And I was like, no, because he's still God, and I don't want him to exile me. That was my thing. Like, I'm not trying to die, but I had to say, God, like, this is my identity. Like, I'm losing my hair. I'm a mom, and now I'm faced with getting out of the military. Who am I? Who am I? And I question my beauty. I questioned my faith. I questioned a lot of things up until the moment that I cut it off. Cut it off. It felt like that it was a scripture, like the renewing. He renews you, the dew of his presence. And I just felt like a lot of weight was taken off of me. I was still scared because, when I cut my hair off, it was maybe like a Friday night, and I had to work on Monday. So it was maybe like a Friday, Saturday, and I cut it off, and I saw myself, like how you see me now. That's how I saw myself. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know who this person is. So it also helped me learn who Bianca was, because I never had the opportunity to unmask myself.
Wow.
So it allowed me to unmask myself, so much so that it stripped, like, I stood in the mirror and no makeup, nothing, just me, bald head, and just bare. And I cried because I didn't know who I really was. I didn't appreciate the beauty that I had internal. So it was a learning experience. It was a big learning experience, but that journey with God was much better than on my own.
Wow. That is awesome. That's an awesome testimony too. And just the whole myriad of transition all at the same time. You're transitioning from the army, which is where you put your identity. You transitioning with your outer appearance because your identity was in wigs and so forth. And it is a walk. It is a step by step. And people they get I guess antsy, they get a little bit intimidated, they get a little
Oh yeah.
bit frustrated because it's taking so long. But it
Yeah.
took a long time for us to wrap our identity around the wrong things. So
Mhm.
once we get it focused on God, it's going to take a while for us to fully embrace every single thing
Yeah.
that we have and we are in Him. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I know you had mentioned though, migraines. Is the alopecia the cause of the migraines? What was happening with the migraines?
My migraines are not clinically connected.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're connected. When I started having migraines, they connected it to, oh, because you're wearing wigs and maybe your wigs are too tight. And I was like, well, yeah, they have to be a certain degree of secure. But
Mm-hmm.
my migraines kicked off right around the time that I was diagnosed with alopecia. So I always knew to connect the two. Whenever I have a
Mm-hmm.
migraine, I would experience a certain spot in my head, and that spot would be balding. And I would go through different doctors. I would advocate for myself, like something's not
Mm-hmm.
right. And I know my migraines are connected to my alopecia. And that's a hard battle. It's still a battle to this day, but the migraines are minimum now, to the point where I get them maybe once every other month.
Okay.
But at first it was painful. It was painful. It would
Mm-hmm.
feel like lightning from different
Wow.
parts of my head, and
Mm-hmm.
it would just sprout. It's like,
Yeah.
when you see lightning in the sky, you
Yes.
would see a pinpoint, but you will see sprouts, like different electricity go out. That's how it would feel in my head. And that also helped me to be like, if they're saying maybe if you give your scalp a chance to kind of breathe, or to kind of like
Mm-hmm.
uh not be in a wig so often. As Sunday to Sunday, I was in wigs, for
Okay.
work or whatever
Yeah.
reason, or just to go out, I will wear a wig. So giving myself that opportunity to kind of cut my hair off did allow the migraines to kind of go away to a certain
Mm-hmm.
degree, to now, like, I have injections. I
Okay.
trim down my injections because it's like I don't want to be you're testing.
Oh,
You're
I
testing.
got you.
So luckily I have good doctors that understand, that actually listen to what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying to them. And they're like, okay, let's do every 4 months. You come back, and if you
Okay.
experience X amount of migraines, then we'll do this. So I advocate a lot that, if it doesn't feel right to you, then you need to see a good doctor, someone that will actually
Mm-hmm.
listen to you, because my migraines will take me away from activities. I
Mm.
would want to just be in a dark room for hours, and I didn't want my life to be like that at
No.
all. So
No.
I definitely took heed to my migraines being a joint cause to my alopecia. But even though it's not clinically put yet, I know it's connected. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering about that because that was the first time I've heard alopecia mixed with the migraines, but I do understand how it can be the spiritual side of it. And also it just seems like the migraines are dissipating as you embracing more of who Bianca is and
Oh
embracing
yeah.
more of who God has made you and all your fabulousness. So I was thinking about also, you are a millennial. Do you get
Ooh.
let me see. No. Here's the thing. My age group thinks that, oh, it's no big deal. The millennials are fine. They don't care about their hair and so forth. Is that a right attitude to have or the right mindset to have as a millennial? Um,
Not.
that's not right. What?
Absolutely not. More women, especially now in the age frames of, you'll be surprised, maybe late 20s, mid-30s are experiencing hair loss because a lot of women mask themselves facade. So you want to be beautiful, you want to be presentable, and we're wearing wigs and extensions way more than the 40, 50, 60s um age frames. We're wearing them continually, and normally, you know, a lot of women were taking them off. You know, you'll wear it for a day or while you're out for an event, and you take it off and you wear your hair. We're seeing more women wearing them every day, 2 weeks at a time, 1 month at a time. And I think within my age frame, we care more about our image, our identity than ever. And I'm only 28, but I have friends that are, I have family, and even younger than me. It's all about social media, all about what you look like, who you look like. Are you in the latest and greatest? So now for this time, the younger, no, your identity is questioned a lot. Who you are is questioned a lot. Your image is questioned a lot. So for me at 28 to say, hey, I'm bald and I'm gonna be bald for a while, that's foreign. I see more older women. Yeah, I see more older women are like, oh, you know, it looks good on you, or, you know, complimenting. In my age frame, it's like, are you sick? Like, are you okay?
So, no, that's our age frame. Also, they looking at you. Oh, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
is something wrong? How long have you been been a cancer patient or something like that? So yeah, I understand it. Okay, well, thank you for correcting that, because I'm like, okay, these youngsters, they just kind of do their thing, but I do understand that. I do see, like I said, IG is going to give you the best picture possible. Right. So I do understand totally what you're saying. But for your age group, if you had to leave them with anything, any bit of advice, how would you what would you say to them? What would you say? What do you want to say to them?
Trust in the Lord.
Okay.
All things. Trust in the Lord in all things. And when you are able to surrender yourself financially, emotionally, mentally in God, you awaken your true beauty, you awaken your true confidence, you allow a newness to take over you. If I was to sit and I love that. If I was to sit in front of any young woman, any young person, don't sweat the small stuff. You know, don't allow your anxiety, your anxiety to take over what God has put in you, because God created each and every one of us for a purpose. And what you have allows someone else to bring forth what they have. And your faith is the best thing, the best thing about your beauty. You know, my confidence, who I am to right now, is not who I was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year. But learning who God is 6 months, 6 months to a year, allows a new tap in, a new confidence, a new Bianca, in a sense.
Yeah.
That it's like, you know, God, you got my back. You know, if somebody else has it, I know you have it. If you say that I'm beautiful, then that's what it is. And I'm going to walk on that. I'm going to trust you. And I'm going to make sure that when I walk out in my day, that my affirmation is, I am beautiful. I am made in his image. I am wonderfully created. He calls me the head and not the tail.
Amen.
He plans before I was even formed in my mother's womb. So if my image now, as bald as I am, as who I wake up to be, if that is the beauty in God's eyes, I'm going to embrace that.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to sit up and I'm going to be like, this is Bianca. And anyone that I meet, I love them in the sense of, who you are, who God made you to be is beautiful. It's wonderful. It is it's who he created you to be in this season. Everyone in this season has a purpose. And my purpose isn't aligned with because I don't have hair. My purpose is aligned with, am I trusting in God? Am I believing in his word? Am I going to trust that he has my back and he's going to put me in rooms that my hair couldn't take me?
Amen.
If you're any woman, 20s, 30s, get to a place where you're naked before the Lord, because that's how he sees you. That's how he loves you, as who you are. And when you look at yourself, you need to remind yourself that I am beautiful.
You are.
I don't have to be Instagram worthy. I don't have to be social media like Elise or any of those titles. I can be who I am. I can be just normally fine and still carry a grace, a beauty, a confidence that's unmatchable. And that's the place that I had to get to. If I'm not going to have my hair, if I don't even get sprouts on my scalp enough to say, hey, I got a fade, or I can color it. Who is Bianca? Who am I? Who would I be? And I kept asking that question. I'm going to be the best that I can be. I'm gonna make sure that anyone in contact with me leaves me, if not better.
Wow. And that is awesome. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was beautifully said. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Bianca. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. You left some dynamic nuggets, not only for your generation, but also for mine as well. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us for another leg on this journey. This is Now You See Me, the show where we redefine beauty from the inside out. God bless.